Welcome to my talk on uncertainty visualization of the marching squares and marching cubes topology cases for level set extraction. Here is the outline of my presentation. Initially, I will briefly describe the topology cases of the marching squares or cubes algorithm that is widely used for level set visualization when data is assumed to be fixed or certain. Then I will discuss our research question of uncertainty arising in the topology cases of the marching squares or cubes algorithm when data has uncertainty. I will also discuss relevant prior work. Then I will go through our proposed topology case count and entropy-based approach for visualizing topological uncertainty of level sets. And finally, I will show a few results and discuss conclusion and future work. Now, level set visualizations is a famous surface-based visualization technique that is used for to understand complex scientific datasets with applications ranging from biomedical imaging to climatology. The problem of level set extraction is the inverse problem where input is a discrete scalar field as depicted in the left column and output is a set of curves where each point on the curve attains equal value, also known as isovalue. For example, in the right column the innermost curve has isovalue of 20 and the curve next to it has isovalue of 30. Here is the depiction of the steps of the matching cubes algorithm that is extensively used for level set extraction. In the pictures below, the red square denotes a single cell of the discrete scalar field. Now for isovalue 30 k, the level set topology within the red square or the grid cell is determined by deriving the vertex signs. The vertex is assigned positive if data at vertex is greater than the isovalue, otherwise it is assigned the negative sign. As shown in the rightmost column, the isosurface topology or the level set orientation is determined such that it isolates positive vertices from the negative vertices. The positions of level set crossing on the green edges is then determined using inverse linear interpolation. Now, in a 2D case, since each cell has 4 vertices and since each vertex can attain positive or negative sign, there are 2 raised to 4 which is equal to 16 possible topology cases per grid cell. Now, in our work, we study the uncertainty arising in the matching squares or cubes topology cases for uncertain data. Here is a simple illustration. The left column depicts uncertain data ranges at the cell vertices. The right column depicts the two randomly drawn realizations from the uncertain data ranges. As it could be observed in the right column, there are two possible level set topologies based on the vertex signs when input data has uncertainty. For our case, we model the uncertainty in data at each grid vertex using probability distributions, which is a popular way of modeling uncertainty of scalar fields. Now, in the previous studies, the quantities such as probability of level set crossing per grid cell, also known as level crossing probability, and the positional uncertainty of level set crossing on grid cell edges, also known as inverse linear interpolation uncertainty, have been quantified and visualized for distribution fields, but no analysis was performed regarding topology variations of level sets, which we studied. Now I will describe our framework for uncertainty visualization of level sets. Initially, we compute the probability distribution of the matching squares or cubes topology cases for each grid cell. For that, we start by estimating uncertainty distribution, assuming independent, for example, histogram at each vertex, or multivariate noise models, for example, multivariate Gaussian distribution, where we estimate the parameters of the Gaussian distribution, that is mean and covariance, based on the observed data. We then consider a single cell of such estimated distribution field and compute its topological distribution. In a general Monte Carlo sampling approach, we randomly draw n samples from the estimated distributions and then we empirically derive a histogram of topology cases based on the topology case observed for each of the n samples, as illustrated in the bottom right image. Now, in the case of independent noise assumption, the topology case histogram can be computed in closed form to avoid expensive Monte Carlo sampling, but for those derivations, please refer to our paper. In the topology case count technique, we first estimate or compute the topology case probability distribution as explained in the previous slide for each grid cell. And then we count the number of topology cases with non-zero probability of occurrence for each grid cell. For example, in the topology case histogram shown in the top right image, there are 11 cases with non-zero probability of occurrence. Having derived the topology case count field based on the distribution data, we then visualize it via color mapping, as illustrated in the bottom right image. In the bottom right image, the yellow region indicates the positions of relatively high topology case count or relatively high topological uncertainty. In the entropy-based uncertainty quantification, we again compute the topology case histogram for each grid cell, but now we compute the entropy of the probability distribution, which captures the randomness of topology cases within each grid cell. Usually, the uniform distribution of topology cases yields the high entropy values. Having derived entropy values, we visualize the entropy values via color mapping as illustrated in the bottom right image. I will now show a few results. In our synthetic experiment, we analyze the Athawale dataset. Image A visualizes the level set extracted from the Athawale image without noise. We draw samples from independent uniform distribution and inject them to the noiseless Athawale image to generate an ensemble of 50 members. Image B visualizes a spaghetti plot of level sets where high topological uncertainty is observed inside the orange box when compared to the pink box. Image C visualizes uncertainty of inverse linear interpolation step of the matching squares algorithm where red denotes high positional uncertainty, which is again observed inside the orange box. Image D visualizes the probability of existence of level set inside the grid cells, where yellow denotes high probability. Image E and F visualize results using our proposed techniques, where high topological uncertainty of level sets is captured with the yellow regions inside the orange boxes. Our framework allows us to analyze uncertainty distribution of the level sets. We visualize the box plot of entropy values for grid cells with non-zero entropy for different isovalues. The median entropy and overall entropy or uncertainty for isovalue minus 4.5 is higher than the ones corresponding to the isovalue minus 2.9. We compare the results of multivariate and independent noise assumption. In image C, the entropy or uncertainty values for multivariate noise assumption appear to be reduced than the corresponding independent noise assumption in image A. We also investigate the topology case probability distributions for two images for specific pixel 3925 in images B and D. The topology becomes more deterministic for the multivariate noise assumption when compared to the independent noise assumption. We visualize similar results for the uncertain Bittel dataset for 3D marching cubes topology cases. The topology of the Bittel leg results in breaking due to the uncertainty in the dataset in image B. The high topological uncertainty of the Bittel leg is captured with red in images D and E using our techniques. We also visualize the entropy level set with red color in image F to understand positions of high topological uncertainty. Thus, to conclude, we study uncertainty of the marching squares and marching cubes topology cases for distribution fields. We propose in topology case count and entropy-based techniques to capture topological uncertainty of level sets. We and perform our analysis for independent and correlated random fields, and we perform uncertainty visualizations with techniques such as color mapping, interactive probability queries, and entropy isosurfaces. In the future, we would like to consider the correlation among topology cases such as reflective symmetry or rotational symmetry for uncertainty quantification. We would also like to consider topological subcases where there are multiple topology cases for same grid vertex configurations for uncertainty visualization. And also we would like to consider data correlation with neighboring cells for uncertainty visualization. Thank you.